Now let's learn about sources of water. The main sources of water on the earth are rainwater, surface water, and underground water. Rainwater. The main source of natural water on the earth is rain. This is the purest form of water. Why it is the purest form? Because there is no impurities. But while falling down to the earth, rainwater gets polluted with dust particles and some dissolved gases present in Earth's atmosphere. Surface water. Surface water is the water that collects on the surface of the earth. This includes water present in oceans, seas, lakes, rivers, and wetlands. Seas and oceans cover almost 70% of the Earth's surface. We have learned it in the first part of the lesson. Water in the rivers come mainly from rain and melting of snow from the hills. So when the snow melts from the mountains or the hills, the rivers get water. These rivers flow down from the hills and over the plains and finally drained into sea and ocean. They carry a lot of minerals and suspended impurities. These minerals get deposited on the bank while they get drained into seas and ocean. So when the Himalayan rivers flow down to the plains in India, the northern plains, it makes that plain very fertile because of the presence of silt. The silt that it carries along from the mountain to the plain. A lot of minerals that we were talking about. Hence, river water is unfit for direct consumption. So the presence of suspended impurities makes river water unfit for direct consumption. So what did we learn? The Himalayan rivers, they carry a lot of minerals and they deposit it in the bank, on the bank of the rivers. So our northern plains are very fertile. If you talk about the states, Uttar Pradesh for example, maximum people are working as farmers. Their main occupation is agriculture. Okay, children? Hence, river water is unfit for direct consumption because it has a lot of minerals and suspended impurities. Water in the seas and oceans has dissolved salts, especially common salt, and hence is salty or saline. This condition of seawater is called salinity. In recent years, efforts are being made to remove salt from seawater and make it fit for drinking and other purpose. This process is called desalination. This method, however, involves high cost. It's very common in Gulf countries. Here, they remove salt from the seawater, make the water available for drinking purpose. Now, in this activity, they're telling us to take 2 china dishes, seawater sample and distilled water sample. So, one china dish with small white porcelain bowls, which usually is being used in chemical laboratories, and a burner. Heat the contents on a burner. Heat the bowls over a burner. Seawater, what will you see in that bowl? The residue you'll see is the salt, whereas the distilled water will just evaporate. Pour the seawater in the first china dish and distilled water to other. Heat the content on the burner. So, semi-solid particle deposited on the surface of china dish 1, but this is absent on china dish 2. This shows seawater contains salt. Now we are going to groundwater. Groundwater or underground water is present below the earth's surface. Rainwater penetrates to the ground and is stored over the non-porous layers of rocky bed. The study of groundwater is known as hydrogeology. Okay, the process of seeping of water under the ground is called infiltration. Precipitation is rainfall. So this water seeps under the ground. The process of shaping of water under the ground is called infiltration. Okay, children? So the groundwater is present below the surface and it penetrates to the ground and is stored over the non-porous layers of rocky bed. This reservoir formed above the impervious layers of rock or clay is termed as aquifer. Impervious layers of rock means which don't allow water to pass through them. Okay? This reservoir formed above the impervious layers of rock or clay is termed as aquifer. Let's revise once again. Water reservoir formed above the impervious layers of rock or clay is termed aquifer. Now if you see, they have shown a parrot which is pointing towards enunciation. So we should know what is enunciation. We have heard about pronunciation. Pronunciation is how well we can pronounce a word. Enunciation is how well we articulate each letter of the word. Aquifer. There should be an R at the end. Hope it is clear, children. Thank you, parrot. So we have learned a lot in this particular topic. In this picture you can see that infiltration is shown. The process of shaping of water under the ground is called infiltration. So the water is absorbed by the roots of the vegetation and some amount of water is escaping towards the water reservoir called aquifer. The area where water fills the aquifer is called saturated zone, this area, and the area above is called unsaturated zone. There you will see the amount of water is very less. The upper layer of this zone, you see this area, this is the water table. The upper layer of this zone is called the water table. This is our water table. The water table may be deep or shallow or may rise or fall depending on many factors. So, what are the factors that are responsible for the rise and fall of water table? Heavy rains and melting snow are responsible for the rise, and pumping of groundwater is the main reason why the water table falls down. That means that area will have shortage of drinking water or drinkable water. Underground water comes to the surface through spring and well. In wells, a boring is done till water table is reached. This water is pumped to surface using a hand pump, tube well, or electric pump. Okay, how do we get this water out? With the help of tube well or electric pump. Sometimes the water level in the water table on two sides is higher than the middle. The pressure on the both sides of the water table is more. So what will happen? As water seeks its own level, the water rises and forces itself out of the earth's surface. This forms a well called the artesian well. This is because the pressure on the water is more from both sides of the water table. Springs form when groundwater finds an outlet in porous rock. So as we know, in unsaturated zone, that area there is porous rocks which allow the flow of water. Through that it comes out through the surface of the earth, the spring. Spring water and well water are usually clear and free of suspended materials. They don't have any impurities, as they have percolated through several layers of sand, gravel and clay and hence are naturally filtered. So the water is in drinkable condition. Now let's learn about groundwater. Groundwater supplies are replenished or recharged by rain. So they get replenished, refilled by rain that seeps down into cracks beneath the land surface. That is infiltration. In some areas of the world, people face serious water shortages because groundwater is used faster than it is naturally replenished. So in the world there is water crisis happening because overuse of water. The water landforms are not able to get replenished naturally. In some areas, groundwater is polluted by human activities. Overuse of chemicals, those chemicals will get mixed with seawater, some will get percolated or infiltrated into the groundwater, isn't it? These all pollute groundwater. Hard water and soft water. Is water from all resources is same? Is one type of water better than the other? What type of water do you have in your home? These are the questions that usually come to a student's mind when this topic arises. Water that readily lathers with soap. When you take bath, if the lather forms, it is called soft water. Water that does not lather readily with soap is called hard water. Lather means the white color foam type that appears when you mix soap with water. Usually kids will play a lot with soap water. Will try to make big bubbles. Isn't it soap water bubbles while they're washing hand, playing with their friends? So the lather, if the lather is readily forming, that water is soft. If the lather doesn't form, it's hard water. Now let's learn in detail about what is hard water. Hard water has large concentration of minerals such as calcium or magnesium. This you should know. So what are the concentration of minerals found in hard water? Calcium or magnesium. When water is passed through materials such as limestone, it picks the minerals such as calcium and magnesium. So as for filtration, they are passing it through limestone. Hard water is not suitable for washing clothes as it does not lather well. So good water will lather well, and that is only good to be used for daily activities such as bathing, washing clothes, etc. It is also not suitable for dyeing and photography as it causes changes in the colors used. So the films are washed under chemical water. So the hard water cannot be used for dyeing, adding color to clothes, especially in Rajasthan. Bandhani dupattas are very famous because these are dipped into various type of dye, red, purple, bright color Rajasthani dresses. So there also they cannot use hard water. Hard water is not a good choice for use in boilers because it corrodes the metal. Rust forms very quickly if you use hard water. The salt gets deposited in the boilers, which may cause explosion due to building up of high pressure. So it's not good at all. So disadvantages of using hard water is being mentioned. You should know this. Hardness of water causes and removal. Hard water generally contains dissolved salts such as chloride, sulfate, bicarbonate of calcium and magnesium. You will learn in detail about this when you reach grade 10. There is a lesson called acid, base and salt. When water containing these salt is treated with soap, insoluble sticky scum is formed and it does not lather. There are two types of hardness. So the question will be why the hard water doesn't form lather? Because it contains salts, dissolved salts such as chloride, sulfate and bicarbonate of calcium and magnesium. Okay, when water containing this salt is treated with soap, if you are trying to wash your hand with hard water, it forms insoluble sticky substance, scum, and it does not lather. There are two types of hardness. Temporary hardness. It is caused by the presence of bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium salts. So calcium carbonate, CaCO3 plus water H2O plus CO2 will give you CaHCO3 twice. Okay. Temporary hardness can be removed by boiling. You just need to know this equation. Word equation. Calcium carbonate plus water plus carbon dioxide gives us calcium hydrogen carbonate. So temporary hardness is because of the presence of bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. Here they are showing the example of calcium. Temporary hardness can be easily removed by boiling. You just need to boil and we can remove the temporary hardness. When hard water is boiled, the soluble bicarbonates are converted to insoluble carbonate, which can be removed by filtration. You can remove them if it becomes insoluble. If it is in the form of a precipitate, insoluble substance, we can easily remove. Calcium hydrogen carbonate forms calcium carbonate plus water plus carbon dioxide. So, when hard water is boiled, what happens? Soluble carbonates are converted into insoluble carbonate, which can be removed through filtration. They can be easily removed. Permanent hardness. Certain things cannot be changed. It is caused by the presence of chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium. So permanent hardness is presence of chlorides and sulfates. Temporary hardness is presence of bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium salts. This you have to remember. This type of hardness, permanent hardness, this type of hardness cannot be removed by boiling the water. Permanent hardness can be removed by treating the water with washing soda, sodium carbonate. By boiling hard water with sodium carbonate, the chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium gets converted to sodium chloride and sodium sulfate. Sodium chloride is nothing but common salt. Understood? The insoluble precipitates of calcium and magnesium carbonates are removed by filtration. Chlorides and sulfate of sodium remain in the solution. These salts do not impart hardness to water. So the carbonates can be removed by filtration, but chlorides and sulfates of sodium remain in the solution. These salts do not impart hardness to water. So these things, the chlorides and sulfate of the sodium, that is sodium chloride, will be there in the solution, but they will not add to hardness of water. So let's go through a revision here. The main source of water on the earth is rain. It is the pure form of water. Water collects on the surface of the earth is called surface water. Groundwater is located below the earth's surface. The process of seeping of water under the ground is called infiltration. Temporary hardness is caused by bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium salt. Permanent hardness is caused by chlorides and sulfates of calcium and magnesium. Now let's do this exercise. Match the following. Purest form of water, rainwater. Water table, we know it is present on top of saturated zone, the top layer of aquifer. Temporary hardness, it is bicarbonates of calcium. Permanent hardness, just now we read chlorides of calcium and magnesium. Surface water can be removed by boiling. What? The salt, the impurities, right? Desalination they are talking about here, because directly we cannot use river water for consumption. Now let's go to scarcity of water. Water is considered as renewable resource, that we learned, because it can be used over and over again. but the sustainability of the renewable resource is questionable. In the next few centuries, it is thought that there will be a severe shortage of drinking water. We have to take care of our water reservoirs. This has already been seen in Cape Town, South Africa. Apart from all the water present on earth, only 3% of water is usable, and this figure is decreasing with time. So we humans are overusing the water resources. Even though they are renewable, the overuse is creating problem. The major reason is the population growth. The reason for water shortage is population growth, because of which water may become a non-renewable resource. This can be a question. Give reason. The population is increasing at a speedy rate, and this is putting enormous pressure on all our resources. Overpopulation creates shortage of renewable resources also. Thus, to conserve water, population control is something much needed. We have to take care about population control. Now let's go to page number 250. So they have given an activity here. A pie chart alongside represents the average use of water in a household. Record the water consumption of your house for a week compared with the given pie chart. So this you can try at home. How much water is being used in the toilet, any leakage, dishwasher if you have the machine, bathing, faucets, the kitchen faucets, right? Washing area, we have the basin, sink, shower, etc. Washing machine, how much water is being consumed. This you can do at your home. Clean and safe drinking water is scarce. So water is getting scarce. Water scarcity is due to lack of enough clean and safe water. So we should underline this so that we can refer when we are going through the textbook. Water scarcity. The reason is due to lack of enough clean and safe water. Water scarcity occurs when there is an imbalance between availability and demand of water. Water is less and demand is more. That leads to water scarcity. Like food also. People who have safe and clean drinking water take it for granted. If you are blessed, if you have a nice home, or if you have water supply at home, we have to take care of it because many people don't have those privileges. So those who have safe and clean drinking water take it for granted and don't use it wisely. We must learn to value and conserve water. We should value water and conserve it. Any tap is leaking, you should get it fixed. If it is on, if the tap is left unattended, if you are filling a bucket, if it is overflowing, quickly you have to close it. Save every drop of water. Causes of scarcity of water. The causes, let's learn. Causes of scarcity of water, major reasons are population growth that we just learned. As the population increases, demand of water increases. Various use of water and increase in the standard of living further increase the demand for water in the recent years. So the main reason is population growth. So as the population increases, demand of water grows, and also the standard of living also puts a lot of pressure on water supply. Wastage. Wastage of water is also a major concern for the shortage of water. People leave their taps running even when they are not in use. All this water is lost to the ground. Over-exploitation of groundwater. One of the biggest problems related to groundwater shortage is replenishment of groundwater. Increase in human population has adversely affected the natural process of replenishing groundwater. So over demand is coming because of overpopulation. So the water cycle has to take place. Before it reaches, infiltrates and reaches the groundwater supply, it is getting consumed. So the cycle is not exactly taking place. The demand of water is more compared to the amount of water that get replenished naturally. Okay, that is the reason. Next, urbanization and industrialization. Setting up of new factories and industries also increase the demand of water, because factories and industries cannot do without water. Global warming. Global warming is tremendously responsible for water scarcity in the world. The increase in the global temperature causes changes in the season, which again lead to a decrease in rainfall and thereby causes water scarcity. Air pollution, carbon dioxide emission, these are all there's a reason why global warming is increasing. Deforestation. The forests are being cut down at alarming rate, which result in decrease in rain, therefore affecting the recharging of groundwater. So without rain, water cycle cannot exist. Right? If you cut trees, the more and more trees are cut down, transpiration will not occur. The whole water cycle is getting affected. So we learned various causes: population growth, wastage, overexploitation of groundwater, urbanization and industrialization, global warming, deforestation. Now we are going to learn how to conserve water. Water conservation. Water conservation is the practice of using water to reduce its wastage and also to sustainably manage the natural resources of water so that it will be available for present and future generation of human beings. Water crisis is now a major threat to the existence of millions of people around the world. With changes in climatic conditions, increasing population and decline of rainfall in many areas, the time has come to get to the root cause of problem and arrive at measures to control it. So we have to take immediate action to conserve water. Water is a precious resource. In order to make water easily available for future generations, we have to conserve it today. Some steps to conserve water are discussed here. Repair a leaking tap. Don't leave water running from taps while washing, brushing, and bathing. Most of us make this mistake. While we are brushing, we'll leave the tap open. We should consciously off the tap and only use it when we have to wash our mouth, etc. Otherwise, while brushing, the tap should be closed. Dams and reservoirs should be constructed to collect water and control floods. Farmers should use better methods of irrigation like drip irrigation. This will save a lot of water. Still get good yields. They should use natural fertilizers, organic fertilizers, and pesticides to prevent contamination of groundwater. Otherwise, we will drink those, or while we drink water from the well or bore well, these chemicals will get accumulated in our body. Okay, which is also called biomagnification, which you will be learning in grade 10. Water from industries should be recycled after proper treatment. Industries should treat the water before they discharge it into water reservoirs. They should remove the chemicals before they discharge the chemical waste from their industries into the rivers, oceans, etc. More and more trees should be planted to prevent rainwater from flowing off, so that the roots will hold. As they prevent soil erosion, they will also prevent rainwater from flowing off and to allow water to seep into the ground to replenish water table. So it's very important to plant trees because they not only prevent soil erosion but also they help in infiltration. This is the natural way to replenish the water table. Rainwater should be harvested and saved using right techniques. What are the techniques to save rainwater? Rainwater harvesting is collecting rainwater falling on the roof of building in a trench, below the ground, in huge buildings, and in small tanks in houses and small buildings. This collected water can be used for cleaning car, watering plants, etc. And in the wonder box, what they are saying is during rainwater harvesting, we can collect 600 gallons of water for every inch of rain on 1000 square foot of roof. So we can save a lot of water. The run through is here. Change in climatic condition, increasing population, steadily declining rainfall. Many areas are the major causes of water scarcity. Rainwater harvesting is the collection of rainwater falling off roof of the building. True or false? A balance between availability and demand causes water scarcity? False. It's not a balance. It is imbalance. Scarcity of water is experienced because of global warming. One of the reasons. True. Farmers should use chemical fertilizers to prevent contamination of groundwater. False. They should use organic. More and more trees should be planted to prevent rainwater from flowing off. True. And here you have glossaries. We have read through them. Any doubt, do ask in the comment section. So we have come to the end of this chapter.